good. I just texted you. I'm super early. Awesome. I didn't expect to get here so quickly on the bike, but it zipped right over here.
Awesome.
All right.
Go ahead.
I'll take those.
Perfect.
I can get those. And
How do
then,
you like that thing?
oh, I love it to death.
Yeah?
I've had it about 3 years, but with the pandemic, I only started riding it again in November.
Okay.
The range is good. I mean, my commute home between home and work is about 20 miles round trip, so it's never a battery issue. I'm not a hot dogger, so I don't burn out. I just cruise, and it's a really comfortable ride. And it charges relatively. So when I get to work after, like, say, a 10-mile ride, it charges up in about 2.5, 3 hours. And I've never done a ride more than 15 miles, so I wouldn't know how long it would charge when it's near to empty. But yeah, the manufacturer recommends recharging after every ride of any length. So yeah, when I get it into the office, I plug it in. It's charged up by, say, 11:30. When I get home, I plug it in. The one thing I keep an eye on is that I'm reading more and more stories about these batteries catching on fire.
Yeah.
And so far, I've not had a single issue. But I've thought about, setting it up outside in a tinfoil box just to be safe, because sometimes if it's not fully charged by the time I go to bed, I leave it plugged in all night. But again, 3 years, no issues. That's a good question. I don't really know, but I would think probably with my size and the bike, probably about 40 miles. No, it's not meant for long hauling. No, but I keep it locked up in a. It was almost stolen. I want to say April, May, June, July, like 4 months after I got it. Guys broke into the garage, took my 2 road bikes, which I wasn't riding anymore, because I only had those locked up with little cable locks. Fortunately, I was thinking I had this locked up to the bumper of my truck with a U-lock and 2 cable locks, and the U-lock went through the hole for the trailer ball, so they couldn't get enough room to get in there, and they cut the cable lock, but they couldn't defeat the U-lock. So after that, I keep it, either in the house, or I actually wound up buying a shed about 6 months ago that I put together in the backyard with a lock on it. This also has an alarm that's really sensitive to motion, so if you even touch it, it'll chirp, and then if you keep going, I've got an ear tag on it hidden. So that's, yeah. So if someone does take it, at least I'll be able to track it to a certain degree, unless they find the ear tag and get rid of it. There's been a company that for about as long as I've had the bike is called iTrackIt, that's developing a GPS thing that fits inside the seat tube. That the battery lasts for like a year, so you can drop it in there and you're good to go. But it's still on that, crowdsourcing. And every update they say we're having problems with the software. Check back in a couple months. So I haven't bought it yet, but eventually they'll come around with a product that'll probably be a little more, because an AirTag, it does a good job of tracking, but it's just a little coin-sized thing. If they're sophisticated enough, that's probably the first thing they'll look for, and just ditch it. So at least something that's hidden in the bike is a little harder to defeat. But yeah.
And you're a big guy.
Yeah.
It's a fairly big bike.
I've got, and it's got a top speed of 25 miles an hour. No, and it's got a throttle, which I never use, but it's all pedal assist. So you've got 5 different levels of pedal assist, 1 being the hardest, 5 being the most power. I usually just put it on 3. Occasionally, if I'm going up a hill, I'll put it on 4 or 5, or if I got to get somewhere quicker, I'll go on 5. How what? Right. Oh my God. Yeah, I had a little, when I was in high school, I had a little Yamaha Champ, a little 70cc automatic, just click, click, click. Loved it to death. Loved it to death. Yeah. Yeah, it was not a chick magnet, that's for sure.
Well, it's good
Okay.
to see you, my man.
Well, I appreciate you helping me out early.
Yeah, thank you for the info. I'm gonna see what I get.
Rad Power Bikes is I mean, there's all sorts of ones out there, but they've got great customer service. This one, like I said, 3 years ago was about $1,200. I think they're a little higher now because they became so popular so fast. But they're still priced very competitively for a nice entry-level bike. Doesn't have the best components, but the only thing I've replaced are the rotors for the disc brakes and the tires. Everything else has been really super sturdy, and I actually the kickstand, because I dropped it once going down some steps and I broke the kickstand. And they sent me a new kickstand for free.
Hey,
See, so
feel good about
yeah, they're up in Seattle. The bikes are made all in China, so there's that issue. But they're an American company, and yeah, I'd say, if you start doing research, check out Rad Power Bikes because they're.
Thank you so much.
Well, thank you for the bubbles.
Yes, get home safely.
Thank you, thank you.
Hope to see you soon.
Yes.